Hello, hello. Mic check. I hope you all can hear me. Do I sound a little robotic? I think I might. Check. 1 2 1 2. I think that's just in my monitor. Hi, welcome to another stream. Happy Monday. I'm excited to be back on the Bargue challenge. I was just looking over all the plates that I've yet to complete, and it's a pretty good amount. It's gonna take me a while, I think, to get through all of them. I mean, I knew that there was a lot, but yeah, it's a lot. I forgot I had this on my head. This is kind of like extra protection, but I only wear like these headphones like once a year. I kind of feel kind of silly wearing it, so I'm gonna take it off. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of plates. I actually got the book, and I was looking through it, and I was reading some of the history behind the drawing course, and I learned a lot more than I knew before about the drawing course and why it was started. And it was kind of like a reaction to back in the day. People thought that the previous cast model examples that people would draw were not that good, so they and there was like this one exhibition, I forget what year, it was like the 1860s, I think. There was this one exhibition where like the judges deemed the quality so poor in the exhibitions that they're just like, okay, we got to start from scratch. This is not good. We got to get something new, figure out something else. And so yeah, this is kind of like how the drawing course got its start. I also got a new microphone. I'm testing that out. To me, it sounds kind of like robotic. Yeah, but when I listen to it when I listen to the stream on my phone, it doesn't sound that way. So I got to figure out why I'm getting that kind of robotic sound in my headphones. It might have something to do with the I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna get started. I need to warm up a little because I haven't drawn today. I have been drawing off stream in my sketchbook. I actually have a new sketchbook. I finished the one I was working on. So it's the same model. It's the same kind of sketchbook. I always get the same kind, or I have been lately. So I haven't started it yet, but I'm excited. It's always really nice to start a new one, and yeah. So I'm trying a new microphone. Also, I did get a new tablet, a new drawing tablet, and I was testing it out a little using Clip Studio Paint on my PC, and it's way more complicated than Procreate, like way more complicated. So I'm not gonna be using it just yet until I kind of get the hang of it, or simplify it enough for me to use it reliably and not just kind of like spend half the stream kind of figuring out how I'm gonna, insert a photo or do anything like that. Okay, let me connect my Apple Pencil real quick. I found this photo on that public domain website. Let me post a link to this photo. And the name of this photo is Technic, and it was made by Minia Diaz Durkup in 1924. So I think it's just really, really cool how people envisioned robots and technology in the future. I'm gonna stick with what I've been doing lately, my tried and true method of making a grid. I think the drawing course has you do this, and I think I remember the name of what it is when you like draw a box around the reference you're drawing. I think it's your notional space. At least from that YouTube video that I saw, that was the term that they used. You know what? I should be on a new layer. And this layer should be super transparent, but not that transparent because I can't see that. What I like about this image is that it's a good contrast between light and dark, and there's some pretty big shapes going on. As far as like the chest, it's just kind of like a big square. Just making sure it's showing up. That's pretty accurate. So the microphone I have, or the microphone I had, was a Amazon Basics mic from 2017. I bought it that long ago, and I never really used it. I forgot why I bought it. It might have been to make music or something. I don't remember. But I've had it for years, and it was getting the job done, but for years I've been wanting like a new microphone, and last week I did buy one off Amazon, but it was refurbished and it didn't work. So I returned that one, and they credited my account, and so I bought a brand new version of that microphone, which is the Blue Yeti. But I bought it in pink because I like the color, and yeah, it just kind of looks very professional. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, what are we doing? So we're gonna start. We're gonna start over here in the left quadrant. I think my dotted line kind of went off a little bit. Just focusing on big shapes. Big shapes. So like this kind of like cylinder shape comes into this kind of like an oval shape here, and then this shoe. I'm a little bit off here. That's fine. We'll try that. We'll go over that. Playing with the tablet I got, it's kind of interesting because it's just totally a total different experience compared to drawing on my iPad, which, you know, I can see what I'm drawing directly in front of me, as opposed to the tablet, which doesn't have a screen. Okay, so this is a huge boxy shape, and this kind of reminds me of a Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, which I'm a very reluctant fan of that series since the first one. How's that looking? Let me pull it up on my monitor. I think it looks okay. Yeah, I think I drew this bottom portion a little too thick. Okay. I think I confused some of the shadow behind this. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little better. These kind of what are they called? Negative space shapes have been a little bit tricky for me lately. The kind of place that I really notice them is when, you know, you're drawing a scene that's kind of like dark and light, or it's kind of like low lit, but you use the negative shapes to indicate, you know, points of highlight. That's when I really feel like, you know, I gotta pay more attention to them. But generally I'm just kind of drawing right along. Which maybe is not that great because I'm not really practicing them. But it's kind of like a foundational skill, right? Right. Finding the negative shape in the reference picture. Look at the contrast here between the chest, the two halves of the chest, right? There's like a night and day difference. Okay, so pretty happy with the proportions so far. Like they've been pretty one-to-one with the reference. It's looking okay. Yeah, it's looking okay. So it's kind of like a skateboard shape here. What am I? Not so strong strengths is kind of like there's kind of like very small details like the grid pattern in the mouth. Sometimes I just don't feel like I have enough patience to do that. To do things like that, which is unfortunate because some of the casts in the drawing course have a lot of detail, and so I think that's going to be kind of challenging for me, which is fine, you know, like challenge is good. It's how you improve. But I think I'm just gonna kind of like this one, just not spend that much time finishing. it's gonna be pretty rough from start to finish, and I'm really not gonna belabor any of these. Which is kind of like the opposite of the intention. Like this is supposed to be the introduction to visual design. And so students are expected to spend hours on a single cast. And the book is really good. I think I have it available. I can show it on stream. But it talks about how it talks about how students would be expected to follow very closely the casts and spend hours on them, almost as if they were like complete paintings. instead of just sketches or illustrations. This guy's been really fun to draw because of all the simplistic basic shapes going on here. Because the subject itself is kind of goofy looking. Possibly wearing oven mitts. Did they have oven mitts in 1924? That's a good question. Probably. But I don't know why a robot would need a keyblade. So I don't know why this guy has... I don't know what it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like a sword of some kind. But it very much looks like a keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. I think I need to make this negative space a little bit wider. And this kind of sword thing a little bit. It looks a little off. Let me see. I think I made it a little bit too narrow. It's kind of compressed. I can just make it bigger a little bit on both sides. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. Because the handle is actually pretty narrow. It doesn't take up that much space. Because, like, if you see, like, the position of the blade to the handle, right? It's a little bit lower, but mine is kind of, like, even. So, I think I need to make the handle a little bit wider to compensate. And just add some rendering to make it uniform looking. And actually the chest is a lot darker than the handle, so I gotta fill that in. Oh, I'm using ink. And then, okay, so back to the legs. It's a little bit easier with the pencil, because I can just kind of go over it multiple times without committing a lot of information to the page. What I think I am kind of getting a little bit better at is rendering simple shapes to look three-dimensional. Kind of like when you're cross-hatching and you need to make like a cylinder look three-dimensional, right? You gotta find the curves of the shape. I think I'm getting a little bit better at that. I'm trying to get better at it. So I'm kind of glad that it's coming a little bit easier, but yeah, I still need a lot of work on that. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this robot's leg here. I think I just overdrew. I think it just made it too big. Yes. It's giving off very much homemade Halloween costume. Maybe people had a higher tolerance for terror back in 1924, because this looks kind of terrifying. There's just more of an appetite for terror. Being terrified by homemade costumes. Like this one. Okay, so I'm looking at the monitor. It's almost like I think I mentioned before, like drawing on the right side of the brain had you draw upside down for the first exercise or activity. So it's almost like looking to the computer monitor gives me like a fresh set of eyes, kind of like drawing upside down, or like looking to a mirror. That's another way of getting a fresh set of eyes and seeing how well your image, or how well your drawing references and looks like the image. I'm just kind of adding whatever at this point. Like the shadow does not go that far out, but I just wanted to add it. This is getting more into like light, like practicing light logic and finding the different grayscale values in the reference. Which I practice a little bit. It's how you can really render realistic looking drawings and illustrations. But also, it's like, the drawing course is like supposed to be done in charcoal and in person, but it's just, and in a large blown up scale, but it's just kind of a hassle to keep that kind of stuff around, right? Especially if you don't have like a dedicated space. And I really don't. My house is tiny, so I don't really have space for a studio. I was thinking about that too. It's like, the skills of portraying things accurately, like, academically, the previous academic training of artists was all about imitating nature. The word they used in the drawing coursework was mimesis, right? Imitation of nature was seen as like the highest, the most vaulted aim of any kind of art. That was what you're supposed to do as an artist, until people started getting more into self-expression, and it just kind of took art in a different direction. But it's like, with digital drawings now and AI now, the most commonly found type of drawing is no longer like canvases, right? It's no longer paintings hung in a salon or a studio. It's now just online on the internet, viewable through a screen. And that's probably for the worse, if I'm thinking about it and being honest. But does it behoove anyone to practice the previous type of academic style? Probably to some degree, but I don't know. If I ever were lucky enough to live in a bigger house and have a space that I could use as an art studio, I'd probably have some trouble adapting my style from small tablet size to like larger canvases. But I think that's a good problem to have. Okay, how's it looking? I'm just playing with this now. I'm not really even paying attention to the reference. I'm just playing with it, finding different ways of rendering and darkening up this leg here. And that's kind of like where I stumble a little bit. Like I guess I get so impatient that I just kind of like start scribbling away. Maybe that's my way of self-expressing. But yeah, it keeps me from like doing like really kind of like focused long form work, being impatient. There's a little bit of color here, or a little bit of shadow there. Some cross hatching in here. And the handle is a little bit darker. I just cross hatch it, it'll show up like that. That's sort of my answer to everything. Just cross hatch it. Just cross hatch it. Your illustration is out of proportion, just cross hatch it. Your shadows are a little too light, cross hatch. You only have 2 tones in your whole drawing, cross hatch. Yeah, I think I'm just overdrawing at this point. I think it's okay. Oops. It actually kind of reminds me, because I've been playing a lot of Fallout 3 recently. It kind of reminds me of the power armor from that game. Maybe that's why I chose this. This is a kind of warm-up reference. Okay, I'm done. What's today? 11/10. Okay. So last time we're working, we're on the 3rd plate, and we are going through this 2-step process of these profiles here. So actually, something I learned is that leftmost face, that leftmost profile, is a cast of Dante, the author of the Inferno and Paradiso. So that's cool. Okay, so let's get another layer in here so I can draw the notational space. And Bargue-Gérôme actually provide us with, you see how it's kind of like line, 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 and then triangle. That's kind of enough to kind of give me a good start. Actually, let me try and just try drawing from that reference. These are the proportions that you can find, or that you'll need to find to get the drawing down. Which is kind of cool. It's like simplifying the space. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good approximation, which is cool, like just from the horizontal lines and the triangle, like you can get pretty close to approximating. Okay, let me erase this one. It's like what I'm kind of focused on as far as like proportion is okay, looking Okay, looking at this, reference photo. Here's the box. And here's the length of the height of the box. And then coming down here, getting this box and like finding the right proportions between box 1 and box 2, just kind of like using my pencil. Box 2 is like about 2 heights. It's about twice as long as box 1. So like getting that like the reference, that's like height 1, and then 1, 2. It's like box 1. And then I really have a hard time. I really have a hard time judging the other axes of measurement. And I don't know how to improve on that other than just to measure it, which I just did right now. I'm going to delete this. Put a dotted line here. And then the triangle, I'm just going to delete this from the reference. Because there's lots of lines going on. Off the reference. So the triangle kind of meets in the middle and then cuts across to about there, and then down here it starts from. Something like that. Let me get a different color, see if I can really make that distinction. So I'm drawing the actual cast. And I'm really just trying to keep the lines in perspective, or in proportion. And one of the ways I do that is by focusing on making straight lines and not worrying too much about the curves, because the curves really throw me off sometimes. And I guess I could see, I'm having fun like drawing this and trying to solve it, right, as a sort of like problem that needs to be solved. But I guess I can see like people spending like hours kind of doing this part of it. I don't know, when you tell me like someone spends hours on a drawing, like I guess I lack imagination about what exactly that entails. But like I'm doing it right now, spending good amounts of time on a single drawing, so yeah, I mean, I guess I understand that a little bit more now. I don't even know what the second phase of this drawing is supposed to look like, actually. Right now I'm just tightening up the curves. One of the criticisms that drawing courses before the Bargue-Gérôme faced was that they were too complicated for beginners. They had like drawing techniques that were more advanced than someone who was just learning about contour and rendering and proportion and whatnot. But that the Bargue-Gérôme plates kind of solve that by simplifying everything into straight lines and whatnot. And I can kind of see that. I can definitely see that. It really essentializes the reference. Can I see if I can move this up down here? Oops. No. Undo that. I just want to move it. I just want to. I don't know why it wants me to resize this. I don't suppose it makes a difference. Okay, how well does that line up? It's not that bad. Well, the nose is a little big. Just the teeniest bit. But it's generally there. Oh. The triangle and the two horizontal lines are kind of like training wheels, you know? Let's bring this down. Okay, let's try to draw it again. Oops. This up there. Let's try to draw the second phase of it using what we learned from phase 1, which was the cross and then the triangle indicating the edge of the nose. So we'll start with the vertical line and then about a third down is this horizontal line, and cutting across here is the tip of the triangle, and then coming down here. Oh yeah, I forgot I made some tea. Lemon ginger tea with honey. Lukewarm. I made it like an hour ago. Okay, well, let's see how this turns out. Let's go dark red brown. So what I'm looking at here is, so this is the space of the reference. Okay. And the eye here is the center of the cross. Yeah, I think this is gonna be way off. Well, if I draw from there and then draw that down. Yeah, my reference is off. Okay, let's redo it. So just trying to copy the box here. And then the triangle. Is that like, that's basically the middle of the box. Okay, there you go. Delete these extra lines. It looks a little off. Like if I'm looking at the negative space here, right? And I'm looking at the negative space here in the reference. Like in my reference, the top shape is a little bit thicker than in the original, so I need to fix that. And then I think the bottom shape too, like they're both a little bit thicker than the reference. So let's fix that. I could just measure this with my pencil. Yeah, that's about roughly right. Sometimes all you gotta do is just measure. Okay, and roughly the middle is where the two lines intersect. Okay, we'll just work from there. Erase, erase, erase. Get a different, darker color. I'm almost like psyching myself out, like making this more than it needs to be. You know, just gotta start the same way that I have been starting. Just finding the large shapes. Sticking to the grid lines. Not overdrawing. Yeah, as long as I'm finding the big shapes like the proportion is going to be there. Like right now, one thing I'm trying to get across is this negative space here. I think it's surprisingly okay. Yeah, I think I've actually have surprised myself a lot. With like how okay it looks. I mean, I'm not going for perfect. I don't even know if I'm going for good. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with adequate. Which, you know, if I'm getting a grade like, which would be like a C, but that's fine. Just the journey of having done it is where I find the reward. Oh, I gotta check my posture. Yeah, I think I drew this a little bit too close to the chin. Okay, I don't even know how to approach the eye from the bottom or from the top. I'm gonna take a tea break while I think about it. I think it would be easier from the top, but I think I would get more practice approaching from the bottom. So, the bottom it will be. I just realized I kind of mucked up the chin a little. Okay, so I want to make sure I maintain this negative space. And eyes are just so delicate, like any kind of stray line is you're gonna lose the eye-ness of the drawing. Like that. So, well, it's not bad. I think what carries, or what's going to carry this is this dark blob above the eye of the eyebrow. Just like with the hair, whenever you draw someone's hair, like filling that in brings the drawing from like a 3 to like a 5 automatically. I don't know why. just think I need to slow down my pen and really just take my time. I could have probably used a smaller nib size too. That probably would have helped. That's fine. That's fine. Oops. Accidentally undid something. I think eventually if I just put down enough marks on the page, I can cover up the mistakes. Yeah, it looks okay. Definitely would not get an A on this if it were an assignment for a class. I think I pushed the chin too far forward. It's actually a little bit further behind the start of the upper lip here. it's just a blob. Yeah. I think it's fine. I'm adequately satisfied with that attempt. Okay, let's move on. What's interesting is this is just like a curved line that marks the bridge of the nose and the back of, or the start, not the start, the point in which the upper lip meets the nostril, and then it continues down to where the chin is, like the outermost edge of the chin. There's a lot of poetry in this kind of formation. Kind of gracefulness. Maybe I'm influenced by the music that's playing too. I don't know, but it feels like a very peaceful, graceful, um, guideline. Like the sweep of the faces. Is in proportion to the bridge of the nose and whatnot. Oh, this is definitely too wide. I think I have a tendency to draw the nose and the chins very big. Hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely bigger than the reference. I added a little bit of a curve to the bridge. It's not there in the reference. I might redo this one. Yeah. So, hmm. I think I'm just gonna redo this one. I know I can do. I know I can do it better, for sure. It's what is it about? What is it that's off though? What did I? What did I not lock in? Maybe the distance between the curve line and the origin of the vertical and horizontal axes. Oops. But yeah, I think think I'm gonna call it a stream. It's gonna be a short stream today. I've already been on an hour and 16. Yeah, not that long today, but definitely made some progress. I'm gonna circle this because this is what I'm gonna be redoing tomorrow, or the next time I stream, rather. So this is plate 3. I'm gonna try to. I may not even do a warm up next time. Just get straight into doing the plate because I want to finish this and move on to plate 4. Definitely gonna be redoing that one. Gonna erase that and then start again. I think with some time away from looking at the reference, I'll be able to get it down. But yeah, I should be on earlier next time. I was on a little late because I was trying to set up my new mic and my tablet. We'll see how using the tablet goes. Probably won't use it to finish this plate, but maybe starting the next plate or the plate after that, at least for like one stream, see how it works out. I like my iPad more, but I also have been having fun playing with the tablet, with the drawing tablet. So yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll draw better with the tablet, although I doubt it. If anything, I'll be a little bit more squiggly because I'm looking at the monitor as I'm drawing, as opposed to looking at the screen on my iPad. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good time. And I'll catch you next stream, where hopefully we will finish this plate. I think we can. All right. Thank you. Bye.